Shri Gurubhyo Namaha students. In the previous session, we have seen how Britain was unified into one unit, which included Scotland, Welsh and Ireland. Now in this session, we are going to see how nation was visualized by the people. It's easy to represent a person through a portrait or a statue. It might be a ruler or any political person. But how to visualize a nation? The artists of the 18th and 19th century found out a new way by personifying a nation. That is, the country was represented as if it were a person. And when it was personified, it was always a female figure. The abstract idea of personifying the nation as if it were a person, that was the idea of the 18th and 19th century artists. And let's see how they have done it. So allegory, an abstract idea is expressed through a person or a thing. So the female figure became the allegory of the nation in 18th and 19th century. So the French Revolution artists used a female allegory to portray the ideas such as freedom, liberty, and the republic. In 9th standard itself, we have learned about this. So Marianne, representing France, personified the nation of France, French. And it represented the idea of a people's nation. Characteristics like the red cap, the tricolor, the cockade. And it was erected in the public squares to remind the public of national symbol of unity. So her image was marked even on coins and stamps. So by this, repeated reminders were sent to the people through the personification. Germania. Now, Germania was the allegory for the German nation. How Marianne was the allegory for France, same way Germania was the allegory for the German nation. Here also female figure only. The painting of Germania was used first time in the Frankfurt Parliament by the liberals. So the visual representations of Germania, you can see she wears a crown of oak leaves. She wears a crown of oak leaves. As the German oak stands for heroism. So clear message was given to the people as Germania is personified as the German nation. Now, nationalism and imperialism. So the last quarter of the 19th century, imperialism was prevailing and nationalism is added with that. But we can see the difference. Nationalism no longer retained its liberalistic democratic sentiments. So in the 1848 itself, we have seen that when Germany was aiming to unify, it was not the liberals or the radicals, it was the conservatives who thought out the idea of unifying the country into one unit. So liberalistic democratic sentiment was no longer prevalent, but it became very narrow with limited ends. It became very narrow. The ideas have become very narrow. It is not broad. So the nationalistic groups became increasingly intolerant of each other. When they became the nation state, they thought that it is their nation, it is their the feeling of nationalism, everything was prevalent. At the same time, the imperialistic feeling also started to come. So the major European powers manipulated the nationalistic aspirations to enhance their imperialistic aims. So they manipulated the nationalistic feelings to increase their imperialist aims, which was not a welcome sign. That led to the conflict over the Balkans, when every nation had the idea of imperialistic aim. It led to the conflict over the Balkans. So Balkans, the meaning of Balkans is mountain range. So in the eastern part of the Balkan Peninsula. So these are the countries, nations provided at the time. So Balkans was a region of geographical and ethnic variations, a lot of ethnic variations. So if you look at the previous map here, so the modern day, the contemporary countries, the modern day Romania, Bulgaria, Albania, you can see Albania here, Greece, Macedonia, Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Slovenia, Montenegro, Serbia. All these are collectively known as the Balkans. So the Balkans was a region of geographical and ethnic variation. Today we know by different names the whole Balkan region. Like this, just now we have seen in the map. The Balkans was under the control of Ottoman Empire, that is the Turkey Empire. Romantic nationalism ideas, the romanticism, made this region very explosive. Every country, every nation started to have the independent ideas. Every nation wanted to be independent. They wanted to come away from the Balkans, that is Ottoman Empire. So one by one, European subject nationalities broke away from Ottoman Empire control and claimed for independence. They wanted to be, they were quoting that they were once independent countries. So by saying that they wanted to come away from the Ottoman Empire. So due to this, intense rivalry was taking place in the region of Balkans. So they were fiercely jealous of each other. Every country is jealous about the neighboring country, every other country. Each country wanted to gain more territory at the expense of others. So beyond this, the rivalry between the big European powers, big four rivalry, that is Russia, Germany, England, and Austro-Hungary. So these four powers were fighting with each other over trade, colonies, naval, and military might. Every power was at the expense of others. They wanted to exploit the territories at the Balkans, and they wanted to show their power over trade, colonies, and naval and military might. So this led to series of wars in the region, and finally it led to the First World War. So the big four rivalry led to the First World War. So nationalism aligned with imperialism led to Europe to disaster in 1914. That is the First World War. 1914 to 1918, First World War held. So the colonized nations began to oppose imperial domination. Every colonized nation, for example, India, it was opposing the imperial British power. So anti-imperial movements developed everywhere. So the nations which were colonized by the European forces struggled to form independent nation state. Inspired by collective national unity, and they forged into confrontation. They were ready to take it as a challenge to make their country into a nation state. Finally, nation states came to be accepted as natural and universal. So, at the end of First World War, every country tried to become nation state. Every colonized state was fighting with the imperial powers. So, this lesson we are ending in First World War and nationalism and imperialism, how it led the European forces to dominate or exploit the colonized states, and how colonized states were fighting with the imperialistic forces. So we are going to see in the next history lesson, the nationalism in India, how we were fighting against British. We were fighting against the imperialistic forces, that is British, to gain independence. So thank you, children. Go through the chapters thoroughly, go through the videos if you have any doubts, which will clarify your doubts. I hope so. Thank you.